Hello guys, welcome back to Self Study YouTube channel. This video lecture is for 10th standard SSC board students, and today we are going to discuss the exercise of lesson number 1, historiography, development in West. So we have covered the entire chapter, and now we are going to discuss the exercise. So the first question of first A is choose the correct option from the given options and complete the sentence. It may be said that Dash was the founder of modern historiography. We know it is Voltaire. Next, Dash wrote the book entitled Archaeology of Knowledge. It is Michel Foucault. Next, we have identify the wrong pair in the following, correct it and rewrite it. This part, like correct it and rewrite, this is cancelled, so it is only identify the wrong pair in the following. So we just have to identify, we do not have to write the correct pair. Okay, so the wrong pair over here is Karl Marx Discourse on Method, this one, because we know that George William Friedrich Hegel, so he has written Reason in History. Leopold von Ranke, the theory and practice of history, he has written. Herodotus, the histories. Then Karl Marx has written the book Das Kapital, but and Rene Descartes has written the book Discourse on the Method. So this pair is wrong. You just have to write wrong pair, and then this is the wrong pair you have to write. Okay, do not correct it. Next is second question, explain the following concept, dialectics and annal school. So we have studied about dialectics and annal school. Okay, so in this box we studied about the dialectics. What is dialectics? Method of analysis which is based on opposites. We know it is known as dialectics. So at first thesis is proposed in the beginning, and then another theory is proposed which is contrary to the thesis, which is known as antithesis, and then after thorough discussion the gist of both is included in another thesis known as synthesis, and the whole process which is based on opposites means true, false, then good, bad. So this method is known as dialectics. So you just have to write in your own words this para. Next we have is annal school. We have studied about annal school as well. It was started on the onset of 20th century by French historians in France. This school gave a new direction to writing of history. It was recognized that history is not only about the political events and wars and kings, but it should also include climate, local people, agriculture, trade, technology, means of communication, this collective psychology, etc. These things. So this is annal school. You can write it in your own words from the para given over here. Okay, so now next we have question number 3, explain the following with its reason. Historical research was driven to focus in depth on various aspects of women's life. So answer to this question, I'm just gonna discuss some points. So initially there was a lot of dominance of males in the society in writing of history, in every part of the society, but in writing of history also. But a French from France, Simone de Beauvoir, she insisted inclusion of women perspective in society, and due to this inclusion of women in the process of writing of history and rethinking of male dominated perspective of history, she made changes in the historiography. So because of her effort, Simone de Beauvoir's effort, historical research was driven into focus in depth on various aspects of women's life also, like their employment, their role in trade union, institution working for their cause, and their family life. Okay, so this was the answer to this question. Next we have is Michel Foucault called his method the archaeology of knowledge. Now we have discussed about Michel Foucault as well, According to Michel Foucault, the prevailing method of arranging historical events in a chronological order was not right. He threw light on the fact that archaeology does not strive to reach ultimate historical truth but attempts to explain various transitions in the past. So Foucault gave more importance for explaining transitions in history, the changes in history. He gave more importance for explaining the transitions in the history, hence his method was called as archaeology of knowledge. Also thing is that the method, the archaeology of knowledge is also his book. So he has also written a book, the archaeology of science, in which this method is included. So moving on further to the fourth question is answer the following in 25 to 30 words. Now the first question is, what is historiography? So you have to not only write the definition but you have to explain in detail about historiography as well, because it says 25 to 30 words, so it should contain 25 to 30 words. So first write the definition. The writing of critical historical narrative is called historiography, and then also write the scholar who is involved in the writing of this narrative is called as historian. Then in modern historiography, various traditional means which pass the stories of life and value of the ancestor to the next generation are looked upon as a source of history. Ancient communities used various means like cave paintings, storytelling, singing songs and ballads, etc. for this purpose. So you can just elaborate more on this and you can write it in your own points and own words. Okay, so the next is, what did Rene Descartes insisted upon? The answer is like we have studied about Rene Descartes. In that passage it was mentioned that he insisted upon critically examining the historical documents to verify their reliability. He also wrote the book, namely Discourse on Method. In this book he mentioned never to accept anything for true till all grounds of doubts are excluded. So this is the main important line, you should write it. This was one of his rules, we can say, or the law led by him. This rule had great impact on the scientific method of research. Simple, you can write it down. The next question is, why is Voltaire said to be the founder of modern historiography? So we know Voltaire, whose name was his original name was François-Marie Arouet, and he was a French scholar. He opined that it was important to consider the aspects while writing history. The first one was objective truth and chronological events, prevalent social tradition, agriculture, trade and economic system. So because of these views, it was aspect of human life was considered for history writing. Therefore he was said to be the founder of modern historiography. Next is complete the concept chart. Scholars in Europe. From in this you can write any scholars from Europe like René Descartes, George William Friedrich Hegel, Leopold von Ranke, Voltaire. Okay. Next we have question number 6. Explain Karl Marx class theory. Now this is again an important question from the point of view of your exam. So in the book the para is there. In the later half of the 19th century, a new school of thought arose, keeping in view the new thesis formulated by Karl Marx. So history is not only about abstract idea but also about the living people. This was his main line. According to him, it was stated, the fulfillment of basic needs of people depends on the nature of prevalent means of production and the ownership. He also explained about the different state of the society that do not get equal access to these means of productivity, which causes division of the society into classes. It results into class struggle. This is an important word, class struggle. The class which owns the means of production economically exploits the rest of the classes. So this is the human history, according to him, of class struggle. Okay, the next question we have is, what are the 4 characteristics of modern historiography? 1.2 4 main characteristics of modern historiography. So the first one was, its method is based on scientific principles. Scientific thought should be included. Relevant questions should be framed. Then the questions which are framed should be anthropocentric. They should not have any interrelation between divine and human deeds. And then the third one was answers to these questions are supported by reliable evidence. History presents a graph of mankind's journey, the evolution with the human's past state. So here, four main characteristics of modern historiography are: two, you have to include this point, first and second point, and also you have to include this third and fourth point. Till here is your answer. Next, third question, what is feminist historiography? Now this paragraph you can write: feminist historiography means restructuring of the history from the perspective of women. The writings of Simone de Beauvoir helped in establishing the fundamentals of feminism. She was French. The feminist historiography emphasized not only on the inclusion of women in the history, but also on the rethinking of male dominative perspective of history. It drove historical research to the focus in depth on various aspects of women's life, such as their employment, their role in trade union institutions, working for their cause, their family life, etc. In historical writings after 1990, women were portrayed as an independent social class. So this whole paragraph is important. You should write everything from this, or the main points, or in your own words. So next is explain Leopold von Ranke's perspective of history. Leopold von Ranke's view were like he spoke about the critical method of historical research. He gave importance to information gathered through original documents. He also stated that all types of original document related to historical event should be examined with great care and in detail. He believed that this method it was possible to reach the historical truth. According to him, there should be no imaginative narration of writing history. So the paragraph of Leopold von Ranke, you can point out some important points. Next is quiz time. Based on this lesson, I have prepared a quiz. The link is in the description box. So it is a 40 marks quiz. MCQ type questions are there, not to worry. So based on this lesson inside from the textbook, so I have made the quiz. I hope you'll enjoy the quiz. So it will help you to understand even more in detail about the lessons, and you will clear the 1-2 mark questions from this. So based on this lesson, the quiz is there. I hope you will like that quiz. The link to it is in the description. Just click on the link, solve the test, press the submit button. Also, after submitting the test, you will be able to see your scores. So click on view score. After submitting, you will get the option of view score. So by clicking on the view score, you will get your scores and individual question where you went wrong, all how many you have solved correctly, what was the correct answer, what thing will be there. So like geography, which we did with lesson number 2, if you haven't watched that video of exercise and quiz, do watch it because it is important. So of geography we did location and extent. Similarly with lesson number 1 of historiography, development in west, this is the quiz. If you haven't solved the geography quiz, go there is a link in description about the geography quiz of lesson number 2. You can check that as well, and for more information you can go to the geography lesson number 2 playlist, geography made easy playlist. From that you will get exercise and quiz, so you can easily solve it. So I hope you guys like this video. If you did, consider subscribing to Self Study YouTube channel. Until then, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you.